Hey, it's Dave. How's everybody doing? As promised, I'm going to bring you a regular video cast. Today, I'd like to start off by talking about some of the transactions the Dolphins have made over the last week or so. The big free agent acquisition this offseason was for Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, of course, had won the Heisman Trophy and won a national championship while in college, but has neither, to show to his credit these days. But that's okay. He comes here with a lot of talent and a lot of upside. But the wow factor is kind of missing because you really want someone who's going to step in and really step it up and do something. Not sure if he can do that, but we'll see. Then, of course, there was Matt Moore, who was signed as a quarterback. No competition there really for Chad Henne. Matt was known by the Dolphins management when he was at Dallas, and he comes here with 2 wins to his credit and more interceptions than touchdowns, so don't really know what he has to offer. And then on the other side, the Dolphins released Channing Crowder, and that was a little bit of a surprise. It was clearly a salary cut move. They were trying to get under the cap. But Channing, I had a bit of a man crush on Channing, I'll be honest with you. And Channing is a pretty good guy, and I really liked seeing him play, and I really think he made a difference in the defense, and I think you will notice his absence this year. That's my opinion. So the question we have to ask ourselves is whether they're appreciably better now than they were, say, when the season ended or even at the beginning of last season. Have things changed enough to make this team better, or feel better anyway? And I don't know that the answer is yes. It's just a big question of where they are and where they stand. Tony Sparano is saying, we think we have all the right pieces. Jeff Ireland is saying we have all the right pieces. And then you got Stephen Ross coming out and saying, well, we hope we have the right pieces, and you guys, you got to win. That's all there is to it. And that's what we wanted to hear from the owner. That's what we've been waiting for the owner to say. Even though it was kind of a soft statement, that's kind of what we were waiting for. To just hear that, he wants to win. He wants something to change. You look at the free agent acquisitions and the things they did, even through the draft. I mean, the draft ended, and you go, okay, they got an offensive lineman, they got a running back. It's nice, but it doesn't have that wow factor. It's missing something. And then they go to free agency finally after all this happens, and they get a guy, who's an okay quarterback, I guess, and he's just there, and you're looking for that wow factor. You're looking for somebody to come in and go, hey, the Dolphins are moving in the right direction. They really feel like they're moving in the right direction. They still don't feel like that. So training camp opened, and you've heard some stories from training camp. Nothing really major happening out there. There are only 1-a-day practices now. There's not 2 practices a day anymore, given the way that practice changed under the CBA. And so they're out there doing that. I have not and will not be going out to practice this season. It's just a personal thing where I just don't feel it. I don't feel like going. And I know that they had, when they had the family day out there, they had 2,000 people, and they're having a thing at the stadium tonight. And it's supposed to, they're hoping it'll draw a couple of thousand people. We'll see. I have my doubts about how many people they're going to draw out there, but people just aren't shown. They want to be shown. Without the wow factor and without something feeling like it's changing, you just don't feel like they're going anywhere at this point. So show me something. Now, for me personally, I've said I wasn't going to wear any Dolphins or NFL gear until after all this was resolved. And I've kind of reconciled at this point and said that I'm going to start wearing my Dolphins gear again when the regular season starts. We need to make it through preseason. I need to feel good about the team again, then I will start wearing Dolphins gear again, and you'll see me wearing Dolphins gear, because that's the way I feel about it right now. Now, as for what I'm doing, since I'm not going to be watching the preseason games and not going to any practices, one of the things I did, I went to a Fort Lauderdale Strikers game. It's a North American Soccer League team, and they're not all that exciting, they're not all that interesting, but one of the things about them is they're owned by Tim Robbie, who at one point was a owner of the Dolphins. And, it's interesting because, it's a very small-scale thing. I think they had 2,000 people come to their game this weekend. And Tim Robbie was walking around through the stands, and you could stop him and say hello. There's no security around. There's nobody around, like to ward you off or anything. Just a very different experience, isn't it? That you could just kind of walk up to him and say hi. Really kind of funny because he used to be the owner of the Dolphins. And then, of course, I've been seeing some baseball games. Now, I'm not a huge baseball fan by any stretch, but it's entertaining. It's something to do. It's something to pass the time during the summer, and it's different than football. So it makes it entertaining in that sense. So we're getting back to it. It feels like things are starting to move in the right direction as far as the NFL goes. I think there's still one piece that has to be uncovered, and that's the simple fact that I kind of glossed over last time that we were at the end of the collective bargaining process. It looked like it was going to be a formality to sign off and to reform as a union. Not quite as easy as I had originally assumed. It looks like there may be a few little back and forth things that have to happen, that change the picture just a little bit. It may not be as easy as we thought, we may find that it gets drawn out a little bit more and there's a little bit of an issue with getting it completed. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen exactly there. We'll just have to wait that one out. We'll know later this week as we get into August 3rd and 4th. Interesting thing, players that have been signed from other teams or traded in particular can't practice until after the new CBA is ratified, which would be Thursday of this week. So you have Reggie Bush just out there standing in street clothes basically and can't practice, which I find kind of funny in its own way. But anyway, that's the update for this week. There really isn't much else going on. It's it's kind of good to see the football team back and feel like it's moving in the right direction. It's still very football-like at this point. There's not much happening there, but hopefully they get it together and they actually start playing well. So that's it for this time. I'll see ya.